Our prayer was that the Lord, who is always present at an event like this, would make his presence known to us. And I think he just showed up. So what a morning, and I'm grateful to be here. I mentioned a minute ago when I was introducing Congressman Gohmert that I'm very concerned about our country. I know you are too, and everywhere I go I hear it, and people are worried about us. And one of the reasons, of course, is because of a Supreme Court decision that's about to be handed down. Apparently, the justices will make known their decision with regard to the definition of marriage in June or early July, probably in June, and so much depends on it. This may be an overstatement, but I don't think so. I believe this is as important a decision by the court as Roe v. Wade was in 1973, because they both attack the family, both weaken the family, undermine it, and compromise it. And more than that, or at least as much as that, Roe v. Wade split the country down the middle. It's been divided ever since. And this decision is going to do the same thing. It's going to divide us further. And the implications of it are breathtaking. And I have a good friend who is very close to the issue, the courts, the implications of what the court is about to do. And I asked him to just list for me some of the things that will be dependent upon this decision. If you think that the court is going to rule on the definition of marriage and either make it accommodate same-sex marriage or be a traditional Christian biblical foundation for marriage, if you think that ends anything, you are wrong, because what will fall from this is hundreds and hundreds of court decisions that are going to affect the church and all of us. And this is what he provided for me. It's here on a, whatever you call that. Never before has the U.S. Supreme Court elevated a constitutional right that which Christianity and all major religions consider to be a sin, and done so in a way that requires acquiescence and even participation by men and women of faith. That's the first thing that will fall from this. By the way, at the risk of wading into a politically volatile issue, I was asked to tell you or to say to you what I am telling you today. Dave Butts, the chairman of the National Prayer Committee, asked me to bring you up to speed on it, and Shirley did as well. So that's what I'm saying. But right there, we're going to be, by the way of the law, forced to participate in or to accept and acquiesce something that contradicts our faith. And that by the highest court in the land. We're talking about florists and bakers and photographers, and you know that. But more than that, we're talking about the church. We're talking about the Baptist church or the Catholic church or other denominations hiring a secretary for the senior pastor and being forced to hire someone even if they're in open, unrepentant relationships. Think of that being imposed upon the church. Think of the pastor being required. Well, I don't know that this is going to occur, but it's certainly possible. The pastor being required to officiate in same-sex marriage. And what happens if he or she will not do that? What are the implications? What are the penalties if that and other beliefs of the church become unconstitutional? What can be taught in Sunday school and from the pulpit without losing a tax-exempt status? What ceremonies will the pastor be required by law to perform in deference to this new constitutional right? And how are parents to teach their, listen to this, how are parents to teach their small children what the Bible has to say about this when they must put them on a school bus to go to school and be taught the opposite by those in authority over them? It has implications for the school. Textbooks are going to have to be rewritten and re-illustrated to comply with the law. It reaches every corner, every dimension of society. And we're talking about the death knell of religious liberty in America. You understand why we absolutely must be praying about this decision? I don't know if we can influence the court. In fact, it's almost certain that we can't, because they have lifetime appointments, and the history has showed that they are not terribly sensitive to the will of the people. So we don't really have much of an avenue to influence the court by marches and by letters and all the other things. I think we should still express ourselves to them. But it would appear that the court already knows what it is, where it leans in this regard. But we do have prayer. And the Lord cares about this nation. And he cares about the institution of the family. The family is the ground floor. It's the foundation for everything America is. Everything sits on that ground floor. Our institutions, our government, our way of life, our children, our education, everything rests on the foundation of the family. And if you undermine it and weaken it, you necessarily threaten the entire superstructure. Not everybody believes that. That's what I believe. How soon would America collapse if the family collapses? I don't know. I don't make any predictions. But I can tell you this, we will be a weaker nation if it does.